Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello and welcome to all of you. Today we are going to discuss a very vital segment, a very vital chapter known as the domains of the earth. You know that earth is our only planet which supports life, as here the land, air and water is available. These three elements constitute the components of environment. In geographic terms, these are known as lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. These three terms have been coined from the Greek language. Lithos means stone, atmos means vapor, and hydro meaning water. These three elements interact with each other and support a life on earth. Since you all know that the lithosphere is the hard surface of the soil on which we live, it consists of rocks, and it consists of the soil which contains nutrients such as humus. You know that our earth is divided into two spheres. For instance, you know, these two spheres are the land masses known as continents, and the other are known as ocean basins, which are predominantly covered with water. You all know that the level of ocean remains same at all times, and the height of any place or of any location is maintained from the height of the sea, from the sea level, that is 0 degree. For instance, here is the Mount Everest, the height of which 8,848, which lies on Nepal border, is measured from the sea level. Also, the deepest point of the earth is Mariana Trench, which falls in the Pacific Ocean. You all know that there are 7 continents on this earth. These are the Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. You know that Asia is the largest continent on this earth. 1/3 of the total land surface is covered by our continent Asia. It is situated in the eastern hemisphere, and the Tropic of Cancer passes through it. It is divided from the European continent by the Ural Mountains, which lie predominantly in Russia and in the northwestern parts of Kazakhstan, adjacent to Volga River. You all know that after Asia, the next largest continent is known as Africa. The equator divides this continent into two, more or less into two equal halves. You know, this is the equator which divides it into two equal halves. The large part of this continent lies in the northern hemisphere, and the remaining part in the southern hemisphere. You know that the three imaginary lines, that is the equator 0 degree, and the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, pass through this continent known as Africa. And the world's longest river, Nile, flows through it. and this continent is enveloped by the oceanic waters. Now the third continent is known as North America. The North America and South America are connected with a narrow strip of land, that is Isthmus of Panama, which connects these two continents. You know that the North America is situated in the northern and western hemisphere, and it is enveloped by Pacific Ocean, North Pacific Ocean, North Atlantic Ocean, and by the Arctic Ocean in the north. Similarly, the next continent is known as South America. South America, you know, falls in the southern hemisphere. You know, world's largest river Amazon flows through it, and the world's largest mountain range Andes spreads from north to south of this continent. Now we come across the Antarctica. This is the continent which lies south in the southern hemisphere. The South Pole lies here in the middle of this continent, and this continent is absolutely and predominantly engulfed and encircled by the ice sheets and snow, and there are no settlements available here. Here are only research stations. For instance, Maitri and Gangotri, two research stations of India, are located here. And you know, the next continent is known as Europe. Europe falls in the western side of Asia. You know, the Arctic Circle passes through it, and it is engirdled by three oceans, that is North Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. The last continent which you see is Australia. Australia is the smallest continent of the world, and this continent is encircled on all sides by the oceanic waters, and thus it is known as island continent. You know, these were the large land masses of the earth. Now we will discuss hydrosphere. You know that our earth is known as the blue planet because here predominantly water is in abundant found here. 71% of our land surface is covered with water, and 29% of land surface. The oceans contain 96.5% of total land area. You all know that the water is available in oceans, in rivers, canals, groundwater, glaciers, ice sheets, and even in water vapor. This all is known as hydrosphere. You all know that the oceanic water is salty and thus unfit to drink. Only fresh water, only a small percentage is available for as drinking water. Thus we find shortage of scarcity of drinking water in India, throughout the world. You know that there are 5 big oceans on this earth. These are known as Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. You know that the Pacific Ocean is round in shape. In the eastern realm, it is encircled by Russia and Australia, and in the western side, it is enveloped by the North America and South America. 33% of the land area is covered by the Pacific Ocean. You know, the next ocean is known as Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is S-shaped. It is surrounded by Europe and Africa in the eastern side, and in the western side you see the Atlantic Ocean is surrounded by North America and South America. The third one, ocean, which is known as Indian Ocean. There is only one ocean in the universe which is named after a country's name. Indian Ocean simply means that it is the ocean of India, and it is triangular in shape. It is in the northern region, it is surrounded by Asia, and in the western region it is surrounded by Africa, and in the eastern region you see the Australian continent lies. So the next one is Southern Ocean. Southern Ocean, you see it encircles the Antarctica, and you see it is spread up to 60° south latitude. The last one is known as Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean falls in the North Frigid Zone, and you know that this ocean is predominantly covered with ice and snow sheets. You know that this the Arctic Ocean is connected with the Pacific Ocean with a narrow stretch of water known as Bering Strait, that are shallow waters. You know, the third component of environment is known as atmosphere. What is atmosphere? The blanket of air which surrounds the earth is known as atmosphere. This the blanket of a gas protects us from the ultraviolet rays which emit from the sun, and this blanket of air provides us the life-supporting gas such as oxygen. You know, in the atmosphere, various gases are there. For instance, nitrogen 78% and oxygen 21%, and carbon dioxide and argon and other gases 1%. You know that oxygen is the life-supporting gas. Nitrogen helps in the growth of plants and animals. Also, the carbon dioxide traps the energy from the earth and keeps the planet warm. And it is also useful for the growth and development of plants. You all know that this sphere of atmosphere is divided into 5 realms. Those are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. These spheres of air have been divided based on the temperature and other components. You know, the air pressure remains at zenith on the coastal areas, in the lower areas, in the low-lying areas, and in the high regions. The air pressure declines. As we go higher and higher, the air pressure declines automatically. Biosphere, the domain of life. Biosphere is the narrow zone of contact between land, water, and air. With these 3 elements, components of atmosphere, components of environment, life exists on Earth. They are interconnected with each other. You know that from the tiny microbes, from the tiny bacteria to the mammals and even including the humans, they all are interconnected with each other. They have interrelationship with each other. Thus, this biosphere, the domain of life, exists with these three elements that is known as land, water, and air. Any change in their, any alteration among the three may tell upon the biotic and abiotic life of the universe. Hence, we come to the conclusion that the major domains of the Earth, which we discussed, were lithosphere, biosphere, and hydrosphere. Hence, we come to the conclusion and leave here apart. Goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.